This is Festival Sounds. I'm Bilal.
And I'm Tilly.
We've got an amazing guest this week, Jessie. We've just recorded the conversation with her. What did you think, Tilly?
Oh, honestly, have we ever had a guest on who has worked in more roles at a festival ever? There's not a festival she hasn't been to be honest.
And she's gone from a ticket holder to a volunteer. Now she works at some of the biggest festivals in the country. She's going to talk about that as well. And we've got Am I a Festival Dickhead?
Yeah, it's a good one, I have to say. It did not go the direction that we thought it was going to go. So, yeah, it's worth the wait. Hi, welcome back to Festival Sounds. I'm Tilly.
I'm Bilal.
And we are joined by a very special guest, Jessie, today. Hi, Jessie.
Hello, everyone.
There's not been a festival I've been to in the last couple of years where you aren't actually there.
Very, very true. I do try and cram in as many as possible over the summer. It's exhausting, but so worthwhile, you know?
Last time I saw Jessie, I looked up and said, "Hey, Jessie, how are you doing?" I was the base of a human pyramid.
It was amazing. I remember walking and seeing you and being like, "Oh my God, hi!" And then realizing that you were right at the bottom. I think you kind of like tried to come out of the pyramid, and I was like, "No, stay." I could see everything like toppling down. Yeah, exactly.
I think the last time I saw you was at Boomtown. You were working, weren't you, at Boomtown?
I think I was leaving work and you were like on one of the gates.
And all of my steward friends were like, "Oh, how does she know someone from production?" I felt very important.
I love that. I think I also gave you like loads of like tokens as well, because my boss gave me like a massive handful and I was like, I don't want all these. I'm gonna be so drunk with all of this.
Oh, they were very well received. We had lots of nice free drinks from the crew bar. It was great.
Good. I'm glad.
Drinks tokens. I was like, what kind of tokens are these?
No, drinks tokens.
Yeah.
Drinks tokens, like free drinks tokens, because I got like free food and free drinks like through work, and I was like, I'm on my own here. I don't want to be get that drunk.
This is too many drinks.
I've got work tomorrow, you know. That's silly.
Obviously, you've done production. That's where I saw you at Boomtown. But we first met in the Oxfield, in the Oxfam field.
We did indeed.
Was it beautiful days?
I want to say wilderness potentially. I think it was 2019. I want to say.
I remember this. You walked over and I was like, this lady is so cool. I mean, we'll post links to your Instagram. I was like, how this is such a festival person. As we were looking after our mate in his tent, because he'd been stung on his mouth by a wasp.
I remember this.
It's such a juxtaposition. You got this super cool festival person going, I'm hitting the town. And we're kicking the tent going, are you okay? Can you still breathe?
I remember this. I try and like pinpoint the different years, but it's all just like one big summer from start to finish.
The endless summer.
The endless summer, exactly. And then it's a bit dark and cold, like in the middle, in patches.
I do distinctly remember as well when we first met you, because I think you gave someone your Instagram, and then for the whole weekend we just referred to you as Jess the Mess, your Instagram bio. We were like, Jessie's not her name, it's Jess the Mess.
Jess the Mess. Jess the Mess is definitely like a trademark name that I found myself with when I was a teenager, because I was quite like naughty, like a bit messy, you know, all over the place. And then I made like a business out of it as well, because it kind of was like a good brand. And now, yeah, I am still a bit of a mess, but I'm trying to be just Jess for the time being.
You said you've been doing festivals for 10 years. That's a very impressive amount of time to do festivals for.
I think last year was 10 years, because it was 10 years since I went to Beautiful Days, which was my first one, or maybe 9 years. It's definitely like around that kind of time, which is my favourite festival. I've been going for almost 10 years, which is great. I normally try and do like 8 every summer, between like 8 to 10 festivals a summer.
I've not been to Beautiful Days. You two have been. What makes it so good?
I think it's very like nostalgic for me, which is why I love it. And also I think because it was my first festival, I see it kind of as like where everything started. And it's just lovely. It's just nothing has changed the whole time that it's been going along. And like there's cheap drinks and good music. Everyone's really lovely. And you always just see like the same people. Like I went this year and I always just see the same people every single year. It's the same weekend as Green Man. I would like to do Green Man at some point, but Beautiful Days is just too good.
One day you're going to have to pick.
Yeah, exactly.
Tilly is braced now because she's like, oh my God, someone mentioned Green Man. Bilal is going to take over the episode just talking about Green Man Festival. But no, I'm not going to do it. But yeah, it's really, really cool, by the way. It's so good. You got to go.
It's just a nice one. They always have really good bands. Like I saw Ferocious Dog there a couple of years ago, and that was amazing. If you guys haven't seen Ferocious Dog, if they're ever on a lineup, you have to go.
Was Oxfam your route into festivals, or were you going as a punter? Kind of, when did you start doing the volunteering?
Like I said, my first one was Beautiful Days, but I just went as a punter when I was like a teenager. And then I started doing Oxfam because I realised that I loved festivals. Before that, actually, I was doing like promotional work. So I was working with this company called Pollen, who are now like not going anymore. And it basically meant that like I would sell tickets for this company for different festivals, and then I'd get to go for free. And because I knew quite a lot of people, especially in my hometown, I would sell so many tickets that I could get loads of free tickets, which meant that me and like all of my friends could go for free. So I did like NAS, Boardmasters, Festival before it like went away, all sorts of ones like that, just with working with Pollen. So that definitely was like a start into going to them. I already enjoyed it, and then I kind of started doing that and realised that I could go to festivals for free, and I was like, this is amazing. And then Pollen started to die down, and I was like, right, what else can I do? Which is when I then started to Oxfam. And that, I think, if anyone hasn't done it, as you guys know, it is the best experience. Everyone is so lovely. I think it's just like a nice way of seeing like another side of festivals, and it definitely through doing that made me realize that I loved the like logistics and how the behind the scenes. I didn't just love the music anymore, I also loved like the people and the whole kind of the thought process that goes into it. And then from that I just decided to do other jobs and more jobs, and I've done basically most jobs at festivals now, I think.
Some people are indifferent, right? They volunteer, they go for the music, they don't care about everything else, which is fine. When you see how it ticks, I want to know more. And exactly. It sounds like you're like that. You're like, you want to get stuck in and figure out more detail of exactly that. I think it was just like kind of seeing that kind of side of it, and then it made me also want to go into like event management outside of festival season and just do as much as I possibly could, and just kind of like not necessarily like climb the ladder, but just learn as much as I could about all of the different jobs and all the people that are involved and stuff, and how it works and how they like basically like live a year in festivals. So it's just really interesting.
You're in production, more kind of doing production-y things. How did you actually get into that? Like, what was kind of the steps into getting into that?
So I think honestly, like doing Oxfam work, I really started off, and then I started to do like a little bit of bar work at festivals as well, just any other jobs I could do. I think it was just, I just started to like Google like a certain festival and then a job, and just to see what I could find online. There was 2 years ago at Glastonbury, I managed a hairdressing bus, and that was just like an odd job through like a family friend. And it was very challenging, let's just say. A lot of things went wrong. But even that I think was kind of a very kind of interesting, because that was like a kind of a view into festivals as a trader and also management side of things. And then I did artist liaison work as well. I did that at Boomtown 2 years ago. That was interesting. I liked meeting the like celebrities, obviously, but I did find I didn't like, I don't know, like not really having a purpose. It was more kind of like, you're kind of just like waiting on people. I did a lot of work with Nostock. I'm not sure if you guys ever went to Nostock, but it was like one of the best festivals, and I'm like forever grateful for them for like giving me the chance. But I basically worked like quite closely with the lady who runs it. And she just kind of taught me a lot of stuff about like artist liaison things and about like bookings and kind of another side of kind of production. And I worked with them on the information box. So that was like another job. So I was learning even more stuff. I was like fire safety trained, and like that again had to do nights and things. And within that, I learned so much more. So it's kind of just, it sounds like I did just apply for like as many jobs as possible, especially after uni, just to kind of see what I could do. But I do think having the kind of working with like Oxfam to begin with very much like gave me the push and made me realize that everyone was really nice, and I could be like kind of supported in that kind of environment. And I do every year try and always do an Oxfam festival if I can, just because everyone's lovely.
There's no place like Oxfam.
Yeah, exactly.
You can strike up conversation with anyone in the Oxfam campsite. And when you work on your shifts, you're with people, and very quickly you feel like you're with a group of mates.
Yeah, 100%.
If they get stuck with Tilly and I, and they were hoping for a quiet shift, we're just like, who are you? What do you do? Is this your first Oxfam? Talk to us.
Yeah, no, I love that.
8 a.m. and they've already been invited on the podcast. They're like, I don't even like you.
I think that is so lovely. Like most of my experiences with people from Oxfam, it was the reason I also started to go to festivals on my own, which I think gave me the like kind of confidence to apply for these jobs and to go. Because I think growing up, I'd only go to festivals if all of my friends were going and if I got everyone free tickets. So I think now it's kind of doing Oxfam, knowing that I could go on my own, made me be like, oh, maybe I should apply for more jobs. And I wonder if I can get paid to do this. Oh, this is so exciting. What other things are there kind of out there? So I think it was kind of like a natural progression of just wanting more and wanting to do as much as I possibly could. And just like, it was kind of like little by little being like, no, I want to learn more. And that's kind of where I'm at now, even now, like when I'm applying for jobs, it's like, what more can I learn from this?
How are they different, the volunteering gigs to the paid gigs?
It's more hours, and like I've only just started to be paid for festival jobs. Can't believe I get to go and have fun and someone's going to pay me. It's amazing.
That is amazing.
But all it is it's literally just like more hours and more like responsibility as well. But sometimes it's good to do a festival and not be paid and get to have a bit of fun.
Production, you're kind of in it, you're in the inside circle. Do you have to apply to each festival for production, or is it kind of like, I don't know, one production team that goes to multiple different festivals? I don't really know how it works.
So there's kind of like, there's a few like big dogs, I guess, like in the industry. You've got like Festival Republic, Team Love. Personally, would rather work for the festivals themselves. I just think it's a bit more personal. I think I sent like over 700 emails to different like people, festivals, production companies, all sorts of stuff. And just to see like what would come back. A few people got hold of my CV, and that's when I got offered like my Glastonbury job and work at Nostock and Boomtown and other things like that. So I think it really was just like putting out feelers, but it's mainly there's lots of ways of doing it. There are big companies that you can like work for, but I think, I don't know, I'd prefer to work for actual festivals themselves because it's more, I like the smaller ones, if I'm honest. I do like the little ones are better.
I can imagine it feels like you're contributing more because like you're really needed. I don't know, not that you're not needed at a big festival, but I can imagine you're like, without me, this would not run.
Yeah, exactly. And I did feel like that a little bit at Glastonbury last year. I was like, if it wasn't for me, nothing would be happening. And it was just me in the office. So like, not really, I guess, but still.
That must be so satisfying.
Yeah, I do enjoy it. I think it's nice to feel wanted, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's nice, but then, like working with Oxfam, I do feel somewhat needed in a role like that. I feel like it's the power of like the high vis, though, isn't it? And like the radio. As soon as I've got like an earpiece in, that's it.
Yeah, I'm like, don't speak to me.
Exactly,
I'm in the zone.
Exactly, I'm important. I'm so important.
I mean, Bill does that to me all the time when he's got the radio and like there's clearly something going on the radio. I'll just be nattering away, like, I don't know, talking about how I had for my tea, and he'll be like, sorry, there's actually something really important happening on the radio, and I'm like, Bill!
That's not true. What I do is say, this is going to be juicy gossip you might want to know about this.
One time you held your finger up at me and I was like, oh, this must be good.
Did I? And it must have been something really serious, like there's a dog in the campsite.
That always happens. I remember there was one year at Wilderness, someone on the radio was like, there's a chihuahua in the like champagne bar. And I was like, this is so like iconic. This is so like...
this year at Shambhala.
Did it?
Somebody on the radio was like, some guy's claiming his service dog is a chihuahua. And we were like, I mean, who am I to say that's not a service dog? So he had to keep it.
Oh, I guess like potentially like a therapy dog or something, maybe. I feel like Shambhala is more of the like mellow ones potentially. I used to like push it so hard and be like, I have to go every night. Every night's going to be like the best night. And this year at Boomtown, I went to bed at 12 every night, 10:30 one night. I was so tired. I was so like, I saw the bands that I wanted to see, and like I was there like on my own as well. So I just thought, I'm just going to go to bed. And I'm glad I did.
Yeah, I can imagine when you're working as well. I mean, even when we're working at Oxfam, like that's tiring. But when you're like, you've got so much responsibility and there's like people phoning you, I can imagine just needing an early night.
Yeah, and I was like, I've seen what I wanted to see. Like, I've seen the people that I hear that I know. I think I'm just going to go to bed. And I'm so glad I did. People were like leaving to go out as I was going into like artist camping. And I'm just going to, good night, everyone.
It's relentless as well. I get it.
It's the walking and the hills as well.
Yeah.
Nobody tells you about the hills.
Nobody tells you.
Boomtown is hilly.
Doubling down on Tilly being a better friend to me than I deserve, she came and met me at the gate and helped me carry my stuff.
That is so good. And even just like having that kind of like that support when you're walking up these massive hills, because it's horrible. It's so tiring.
It is horrible.
And you've like just got that. I normally like look quite good on the first day as well. So then by the time I've got to like the space, look, I'm all sweaty, I'm uncomfortable. Terrible.
It just adds to the Jess the Mess like demeanour. It's fine. You're like, no, I was supposed to look this sweaty.
Yes, very true. I definitely have had many like Jess the Mess moments at festivals.
Every job advert the Glastonbury release gets pinged around every WhatsApp chat, and it always says at the bottom, this isn't an easy way to get into the festival. Your busiest time is going to be when the festival is on.
Yes.
Is that true?
100%. Glastonbury was like very long hours. Didn't see any of the festival. I went out one day. I was like doing night shifts, so it was kind of like 12-hour shifts. Didn't see it, slept in the day kind of thing. But there was one day where I went out into the festival. I sent my granddad a postcard, and I went and watched. I just stumbled across like I think it was Beans on Toast, which is in like a really tiny tent, and I love Beans on Toast. It's very like nostalgic, so it was just lovely. Had a wander, and then I went back and went to work, which was nice. But it was definitely, I wasn't there to like have a good time at all. I was there to work, which is what I obviously like wanted to do, which I think was good. It was good to go to a festival and not feel like I was like, I don't know, there to party. I did feel very refreshed when I came back because I didn't drink for like 2 weeks, which was crazy.
So it's 2 weeks, that's how long you were on site for?
Yeah, so I was there for like 2 weeks. This year I'll be there for like a bit longer, like a longer contract. But it was 2 weeks of living on site in like a caravan. Obviously, I just walked from like my caravan to the office, which was like 5 minutes, if that, and just saw like the same people like every day. But it was definitely worthwhile because I got to have my fun. I definitely had my fun last summer at other places. It just wasn't there.
Naming no festivals, naming no names. What is the craziest thing you've seen when working like specifically production? Because I'm sure as a steward you've seen lots of things, but do you hear some like random things on the phone?
Oh, 100%. There are so many like different things. There's definitely been situations where I've been working. There was like one situation I was doing a night shift at a festival. This like young lad, I think he would have been like 15 or something, bless him. He managed to sneak into production and find his way into my office with a nosebleed. And he was so sweet as well. And he was telling me that he'd had the best time ever. And I think he said he was drinking like moonshine.
He's starting young, that lad.
Yeah, exactly. Starting so he was very young. I made him like a cup of tea and like put a tampon like up his nose so he would stop bleeding. And then I had to get someone to take him to welfare. But because it was only me that kind of met him because I was on my own. I don't believe that he was real because it was so late in the shift that I'm like, did that boy even come and talk to me or what? Because it was just like come like very much kind of like near the end. So there was a situation at a festival last summer where, again, night shift, I was working with like a group of people and they like cable tied me to a chair and like it was really quiet at the time and they like spanned me round loads and obviously I was giggling and then like one of the big bosses walked in and was like, "You all right, Jessie?" And I was like, "Yep."
Just cable
working really hard, you know.
I wasn't sure where that story was going.
No, exactly. I told my mum that story and she was like, "I don't need to know." I was like, "No, it's not weird, I promise." Which was funny. I think it's just like, as you guys probably know, the like delirium kind of hits, especially on like a night shift.
I was on a overnight shift and we had these wooden camping huts. It had like a desk at the front with some shelves built in. And of course we tried to fit someone into those little shelves.
Of course.
Until they broke.
Oh no.
The overnight shift, you're 6-7 hours in, you do do daft things.
Yeah, because it just all starts to kind of get really silly, and then you're like, what is happening? This can't be real. Yeah. And it's silent as well, and you can like see like the mist over like the festival and stuff. It's getting a bit colder, and it's like I feel like if you're working with people that are up for having a good time, that's always good. I've definitely been in charge of people before and they've fallen asleep and I've been like, come on, have a coffee. Come on, it's not that bad.
I need some moral support at 5 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to fall asleep, I'm going to feel terrible. So we need to play a game or something to like get everyone like ready. I had a very unprofessional moment as well where I was working a big festival. I was doing artist liaison work on one of the main stages and I had to like, basically, it was a very big artist. I'm not going to name names because it was embarrassing. That's why. But I was anyway helping this act from the stage to the bus stop, and they had just headlined this like massive festival. And I was like, oh, how was your set? How did it go? Did you have a good time? And this guy just like scoffed at me and was like, what do you think? And I was like, I don't know, it might have gone really badly. And he was like, oh, no, obviously it went really well. I was like, all right, fine. And you probably did a better job than I could do. And it was just really awkward because he was just not appreciative of the fact that I just asked him how his set had gone.
Some people just cannot behave. And I find it's normally the hangers-on.
Yeah.
A friend of mine was doing Oxfam. Someone was trying to take a new friend they had made. And Ooh. They were trying to take them into an area where they didn't belong and said, don't you know who I am? I'm a guest of Sienna Miller. And my mate just turned around and was like, who's that?
Yeah, who is that?
It's
not
like,
sure.
And even if they did know, it's like, but you're not Sienna Miller.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the hangers-on think that a name drop and people would turn around and say, oh, you can have whatever you want.
Exactly. It's the like friends of friends. But actually, I've always learned that if you want to get somewhere that you're not really meant to be, the best thing to do is just be so confident that they can't question it. There's definitely been times where I've been like, I want to go to this secret area. I'm wearing a wristband that's like potentially a crew one. I'm going to just be really confident, and it does normally work. So, and if it doesn't, then you just have to take it as an L and be like, oh, I'll go somewhere else then.
Yeah, it's cat and mouse.
Exactly.
The one festival that I think is brilliant for looking after people working there is Boomtown, because it isn't really a backstage area that is for like different people. It's all backstage, so you just roam around and find little bars and stuff like that. That's really cool. So once you've got that crew wristband, you're in.
I worked with them last year and I think their like production is amazing. They're so organised and they're so on it, and everything has a purpose, and everyone that you meet who's working is doing a job. And I find it like Boomtown they are really good. They are really, really organised, and everything's got a purpose and a right place. And like you said, because everything is like kind of one big kind of crew area, and then most people there are working there, it makes sense. Like I obviously shouldn't have been in artist camping, but all of my friends were in there, so I was like, why not? No one questioned anything. It was amazing.
The place everyone really wants to get into at Glastonbury, who, when they think they're in the know, is Gorilla in the southeast corner, which is like a celebrity hangout backstage place. It's just hangers-on.
Really? Yeah.
There's more fun places to be at Glastonbury. So
very true.
We love the crew bars, Tills, don't we? Like we have a good time there on the Monday and Tuesday. But when the festival starts, you're like, the festival is better than the crew bars. Why are you trying to get into those places?
Yeah, it's like, well, you need to go to the places that are easily accessible, because if it's easily accessible for everyone, then that's going to be where the party is. If it's like, oh, you have to flash a certain wristband to get there, I'm not going to be having a good time.
Yeah, it's so true, actually. It's so true.
And if you go into Gorilla, maybe you'll meet someone who's a junior music exec. They're not going to sign you to their label because you showed up pissed in their bar.
Yeah, exactly. It's so true. It's so true.
Immediately in that area, there is Shangri-La, which is infinitely better than a very chill bar that you could go to. Maybe you could use a lose. And there's a perk, but that's it.
To be fair, that is always one of the best things, I think, working production. Hands down is the toilets. oh my God, I can just go there. No queuing, nothing. At Boomtown, I absolutely took like liberties on that because there's toilets all over. The way that they like the inner bit works, it's very much like little like tunnels and stuff, as you guys probably know from doing with Oxfam and stuff. So you can get places really quick. And just being able to pop for a wee was amazing. Yeah. So good. So good. I think that and like having like nice showers and being able to have good food, it makes sense. I think I learned that very quickly growing up, that I didn't want to pay and I wanted to have a nice toilet.
Usually the kind of staff food is always really, really good, but the production food at Boomtown was incredible. Mm-hmm. Like that food tent, I don't know, they just had something else going on every day. They had like a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner, and it was always so tasty. So yeah. I'm super jealous you get to have that literally every single day for a long time.
Yeah, I do think like festival food is normally quite good. It's quite rare that you have it. It's quite bad. I know at Nostock they had such good crew food and everyone was so nice. I'm so sad that they aren't running anymore, because that is definitely like one of the best festivals.
What happened to them?
They just decided that I think it's been going on for like 25 years. I've been doing it now. And they just decided, I had a long chat with the lady that runs it, and she was just saying like they just haven't got the energy. They haven't got kind of like the capacity to continue to do it, unfortunately. I think the industry has changed a lot in the last, especially since COVID. And like, because as you guys probably know, like so many festivals have gone under. And even in the jobs I do, I've noticed like such a change. Like the big kind of companies, like we were saying earlier, they've kind of bought out a lot of the festivals. Like Boomtown is now owned by one of the big companies. They only owns like 49%. So it's not quite all of it. And I think you definitely notice it. It means that the smaller festivals just aren't able to run. They are not able to like kind of continue because the funding isn't there. And the events industry, especially right now, I think is at like a real bad kind of like low. Like I live in Bristol, and a lot of like clubs in Bristol have gone under recently. Like I've been here for like 5 years, and you notice it as like, even when you're going out and things, that it's not like as much as like a viable kind of industry. It's like a money making thing more than just is it being like about the music now.
They restrict artists now. If a big organizer signs them up for 2 or 3 festivals, they won't let them play smaller ones. And
yeah,
so
exactly.
Suddenly the talent available at the smaller festivals is squeezed. And you know what people are like. They say, oh, I'll go to that festival because there's that name I recognize. Mm-hmm. Even though that name might be Razorlight, who last had a good album 20 years ago.
Oh, shots fired at Razorlight.
Yeah. I picked an example. I happen to like Razorlight 20 years ago. But
Panic in America.
But then, people like going to see or booking tickets for names they know. But if those bands have all been put on exclusivity clauses for that summer, how's a small festival going to compete?
Exactly. And I think like the budget's not in it, the funding's not in it. And it's, I think especially with Nostock, they just couldn't do it anymore. I was chatting with Ella, and she was just saying that she was like, I want to spend time with like my kids. I don't want to have to be working like all year round for something that like may or may not sell out.
There are only so many weekends in the summer. Mm-hmm. Chances are you're going to have to put your festival on the same weekend as another festival.
Yeah, definitely. Like, because obviously I feel like you wouldn't want to do it the same weekend as like Boomtown, Glastonbury, all the other like massive ones. And even when I'm like planning my summer, I'm starting to do it now. I started to like send all my emails out and say, hire me, please. That kind of like horrible thing of having to write like a cover letter and a CV to be like, I'm great, I promise. And then hoping that someone's going to like my pink CV, I think is always terrible. I'm starting to do it now and starting to be like, right, what do I actually want to do? I've got Glastonbury booked, but that's like for like 2 months. So that's like a long time. And then I'm now trying to decide like what I actually want to go to. And I don't know, whoever will have me at this point, really.
So if anyone's listening that wants to hire Jessie, then
please do. I'm a hardworking, talented individual. I'm a silly blonde woman. Please hire me.
With bags of experience.
Yeah, I was going to say,
yeah, exactly.
Literally, there's actually probably nothing you haven't done at a festival. Like last time I saw you, you were working production. The time before that, you were working in a stall, in a clothes stall. The time before that, I'm pretty sure you were in the hair salon. I was like, there's actually nothing that Jessie's not done.
It is. I think it's good to have a very like kind of like broad kind of like, it means when I am applying for jobs, I kind of know the backstory. Like even there was a situation at a festival like last summer where I was dealing with the guy that runs Oxfam. He was like clearly quite stressed about this situation. I think it was to do with like keys or something. I said to him, I was like, I used to work with Oxfam. And as soon as I said that, his like demeanor completely changed. And he like wanted to he was like happy for me to see how I can help him kind of thing. Another situation I had to sort out was like a gas leak at a festival. And because I'd worked at a bar, I knew like what kind of gas it was, which sounds crazy, but like I knew that it was a safe gas and it wasn't going to like blow up the festival because that would be a nightmare. But I think like just knowing all these like different things definitely like helps within kind of, like different jobs that you can do. But I don't know what I actually want to do. I know it's production, but there's so many options. I could do anything. I'd like to have my own festival maybe one day.
That was going to be one of my last questions, was going to be, would you ever consider setting up a festival yourself one day?
100%. And I run events in Bristol already now. I used to run a chess night, which was on a Monday. People would come and play chess. That was called Messy Chess with Jess the Mess, which was really fun. I did that for a long time. And now I work closely with a friend, and we like put on gigs and things in Bristol, but we do gigs that are like mainly focused around diversity and how kind of the music industry has become quite kind of, you have to dress a certain way and be a certain way and be able to afford it. So you try and put on gigs that kind of are just a little bit more kind of, you're able to kind of, I don't know, go to without having to be like a certain person. So doing that. So I think within that, I'd probably like to do my own thing, but I also need to pay my bills. So it's tricky. It is tricky, but I would like to have my own festival one day, I think. I think I would really enjoy it. I feel like I know a lot of people that would be able to help as well. So maybe one day.
If you need 2 stewards, I know a couple of people.
I will work for free. I will be there.
Yeah, as long as there's tea and coffee, we're fine.
Yeah, tea, coffee, and nice showers.
And some cable ties, apparently.
Yeah,
that's
as long as you promise
ties.
not to cable tie me to a chair, then I'll probably do it.
The worst it was with the cable chairs is they were like the proper industrial strength ones that you can't break and you can't get out of. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. It was just that delirium though, I guess.
Oh, no, I would love to come to a festival organised by you one day. I think that would be amazing. I could just tell it would be very colourful and crazy, but amazing.
100%. I feel like I know. I've been to so many festivals. I feel like I know how I'd want it to be.
Before you go, Jessie, I would absolutely love it if you wanted to play Festival Dickhead with me and Bilal. We love it.
Yep, sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay, I wasn't expecting this. Let me go through my notes. I've got a choice of a few. I'll give you a choice of 2. We can go for badly behaved children in the crowd, or what I've written down, it just says festival pisser, which I think at the time meant someone who doesn't wait to get to the urinals and then just pisses against a fence. So you got a choice. Do you want to play Festival Dickhead with one of those 2?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the pissing one because I feel quite strongly about this.
Right, okay, I'm going to set it up then. Festival Sounds presents Am I a Festival Dickhead? Someone pissing at a festival, but not in the actual urinals or the loos.
Toilet.
So I'm going to say you're not a dickhead because controversial, I know. The reason why
you said in the episode.
The reason why is because
Outrage.
I am a wild weeer. If I need a wee, I'm just going to wee.
Sorry?
A wild weeer.
A wild... I've never heard this before.
A wild weeer.
I need to settle down a little bit.
My mum always gets annoyed at me because if we're on a walk or something, I'm like, I'm going for a wee. And she's like, Jessie, just wait. And I'm like, I can't. I'm going for a wee. And I perfected the art of having a wild wee. And I think, especially at festivals, the reason someone is pissing not in a urinal is because there's not enough toilets. And that comes from a production side of things. And I think, why are they not weeing in a toilet? Why am I not weeing in a toilet? Because there isn't enough. And I can't wait.
Okay.
Amazing. I love that you've got your production hat on, by the way.
Yeah, always. It's always on. It's always on.
I think we can see the side that I'm going to take, right? So Festival Pisser, sometimes people piss at the edge of a crowd.
Yes.
At some festivals, even though there are more than enough provisions, people still don't use them.
Yes, that is also true, I guess. I just think I'm impatient, and I have been known to have a wee in a crowd before.
Right. Okay. So, I'm clutching my head. Not only are we playing Am I a Festival Dickhead?
I'm the dickhead.
We potentially asked a dickhead the question.
Yeah, I am the dickhead. That's backfired, but also
iconic. I mean,
why? We're in a field. I feel quite strongly about a wild wee, so I think it's also quite as a lady, it's quite a skill. I think to have a wild wee.
It's true. I honestly love. I mean, I've said it before. Those female urinals, the pee equal. Oh,
yes.
Amazing! If they existed like in more places, more festivals, then I wouldn't feel the need to have a wild wee.
That is actually very true. I hate the fact that, like, I don't know, people can just have a wee wherever, but as a lady, I have to, like, squat down. So I think the female urinals are amazing, and they're really colourful, and the pre-equal people are always really lovely.
They're amazing.
Always really lovely.
I love a female urinal.
I'm not defending men here.
It sounds like you're about to.
Yeah, it sounds like it's about to happen.
They're saying if you're a man and you can just pee anywhere, then I'm saying you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
That's very true. That's very true. Perhaps
I'm saying hold it. It's max 4 or 5 minutes away. Right?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, and if it isn't 4 or 5 minutes away, that's on you. Not you.
That's true. That is on you, Jesse.
Talking about my group of mates, group of guys who were there because we were talking about men. Like, if a guy's pissing against the side of the pyramid stage, then I'm saying, mate, you should have realised this was happening 5 minutes ago and you would have made it.
Very true. I think it depends on the situation. I hate when people pee into like bottles and then throw them. That is a festival dickhead kind of energy.
100% I'm with you. Festival dickhead
that
all
is
day
awful.
long.
I was at Tramlines Festival in Sheffield. And
you had a bottle. Come on, where are we going with this?
I was literally like having the time of my life. Actually, maybe I wasn't having the time of my life because it was Jamie XX, but maybe anyway I was having an all right time.
I was having an okay time.
Yeah, and then some girl just like literally pissed on my foot. Like she just started, she didn't even squat down, she was standing up, she just weed. And
maybe it was me.
And I made like a massive point of like shaking my foot because obviously she'd weed on it, and she just looked at me and just went ha. And I was like, you just weed on my foot.
She laughed in your face.
She weeded you and laughed in your face. That is terrible. That is terrible.
That is like the biggest, I know. I couldn't get over that insult. That's the biggest insult that's ever happened to me.
I would never do that. I would never do that. I think it's like, I do love it when you see like a group of girls and they're all together and they're all using like coats and stuff. And, like when someone is squatting down, they're all like making a barrier. Yeah. That is girlhood in absolute like full force. I love that. I think that's the best. But I wouldn't just, I feel like sometimes at festivals, I will squat down and have a wee and no one will know. And all of my friends will look at me and I'll be like smiling and they'll be like, you said wee. And I just get up and move and they'll be like, Jessie, just wait.
I also like to clarify, I meant Jamie T, not Jamie XX. Love Jamie XX, dislike Jamie T. Sorry to slander. Sorry to slander Jamie T, Jamie XX.
Controversial, I like it.
So we're saying, I can't believe this. We're saying that actually wild weeing, fine, go for it, not a festival dickhead. The opposite, good for you if you're a woman, you can wild wee. And I'm saying about men, if we're taking respective sides here, I'm saying men get a grip. Well, literally get a grip of it if that's what it takes.
Yeah.
So we're saying we can't decide if it's festival dickhead or not. Yeah. I thought this was nailed on dickhead.
I think perhaps it's like situation dependent.
Yeah, I would say
Maybe.
Like at Glastonbury, there's like explicit signs saying don't pee on the land. So if you pee in there, like, okay, you need to stop.
That is a problem, yeah.
There's
because it kills the fish.
Is it not to the farm?
It gets into the water system and then into the rivers, and I think it can kill the fish. I think that's why they say don't pee on the land. I think they also tested, I think they tested the water and there were some traces of drugs that made it through into the rivers.
Yes,
so these fish
not surprised.
Got really high and then died.
Exactly. But But it is, I think
it's an environmental reason for not pissing on the land.
Understandable. And also, if you've got hundreds of thousands of people peeing in one spot, like it's not going to smell good. But
no, exactly, it's very true. And also, I guess people have paid for the toilets; they're there for a reason, and normally they're not that bad. I think I'm normally fine with like a portaloo. I love when they have like the little mirrors in, and you can like smile at yourself like in the mirror. I'm like, I'm having the best time.
I do love a Portaloo mirror, I'll be honest.
Yes,
because
that's
it's like,
so good.
It's been 3 days since I've seen my face.
Yes. You're like, I don't remember the last time I saw my own reflection. Like, is this actually me? Is this a fever dream? Jessie, we need your final decision. Are you a dickhead or not?
I think I might be the dickhead, unfortunately. But I don't know. Maybe this summer I will wild wee less, and I will queue for the urinals. And you also meet nice people in the queues for the urinals as well.
Very true. New Year's resolution is less wild bees.
My mum is going to be so relieved.
What an amazing episode. Thank you for listening. This Festival Sounds. Please follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. If you like the show, send it to a mate. Get them listening.